Okie dokie. And yeah. Okay, so these 4 weeks, I've called it head, shoulders, knees and toes. We're just going to explore a different part of the body in each week. So it's not going into all of the intricacies. It's mainly a freeing and a strengthening and a stabling. So tonight it's shoulders and neck. And what I thought we'd start off with each week is a bit of hand reflexology. So I used to do reflexology up until 4 years ago. I was a reflexologist. So, and you know, it's not just feet, it's hands as well that we can do. So some of you I know go to reflexologists, so you might be familiar. So for shoulders, this sort of knuckly bit there underneath the little finger, that's the shoulder reflex. So we take the thumb of the other hand and we walk it up just over that knobbly bit there. So you can use as much pressure as you like. You don't go too quickly. Walking over that knobbly bit at the outside of the little finger. Okay, so we can just do that a few times. And then there's a second reflex as well. So that's if you go down your little finger to the pad of the little finger there. And we can just take the thumb or a finger and circle there. Maybe you're feeling your tension in your shoulders draining away. I think it takes more than just a few minutes. That's it. But those are two, that's to explore on that hand. Let's do it on the other one then, because we have two shoulders. So as again, just that outside bit there, and take the thumb and just walk it over that. You can feel the knobble, can't you? Feel that knobble, that's the reflex. And if you feel any crunchy bits, that's it, letting go. So it's a good thing. If you feel any, we used to call it granulation, a bit like if you thought there was lots of granulated castor sugar. No, not granulated castor sugar. Granulated sugar even. Granulated castor icing dark brown sugar. And then let's go then to that pad underneath the little finger and we just circle there. Okay, so those are the shoulder reflexes. So then the neck is a little more complicated. It's this part of the thumb, but all the way around the thumb. So you use the thumb of the other finger and use your fingers to support the thumb, otherwise you could hurt yourself. And it can be a bit, if you're arthritic in your hands, it can be a tricky one. So if it's tricky, just do the outside of the thumb. If it's comfortable, do as much of that cuff of the thumb as you can get to. And then once you've gone round it a couple of times, then we could just give it a rub. So we'll do that on the other thumb. So go to the other hand. Again, if you're slightly arthritic on this side, then maybe just do the outside or a comfortable place. But just accessing as much of that part as you can do, much of the area as you can. Go around a couple of times. So it's worth saying that the reflex on the hand is slightly different to the feet. And then we just give it a rub. And then let's rub the hands, palms, fingers, backs of hands. Good. Okay. And then we'll come to lying down. Now, as you come to lying down, I'd like your knees bent, your feet towards the outer edges of the mat and your knees coming towards each other. So you're tenting. So when you come to yin, you should be familiar with this one. So your feet towards the edges of the mat and then your knees together. So you're tenting. And you can just settle the lower back in as you do that. The back might want to arch a bit. You could take the feet a little bit further away from you. So just settling there, you can softly close the eyes. Maybe just lift the head and tuck the chin in slightly, so when you bring the head back down, your neck is lovely and long. Relaxing the jawline, making space between the teeth. Softening the shoulders into the ground and have the arms wherever they are most comfortable at the moment. Softening into the lower back, the hips. Having the knees together allows the thighs to let go. No sense of holding there. And the feet resting on the ground. So bringing awareness to breath, finding out how your breath is this evening. With each exhale, just imagining tension flowing away from the neck and the shoulders. So this could be in the form of warm water, a warm shower, waterfall. Could be those that are a fan of a massage, it could be warm oil. Or maybe having the imagery of a candle burning and the wax softening. Just melting any tensions away. We have problems in our neck and our shoulders through arthritis, injury, bad posture, weak upper back muscles. As we were just talking about before, screens, dearth of the modern age, desk bound. And metaphorically holding the world on our shoulders, sticking our necks out for people. As you breathe and we just let all that melt away, maybe we can increase the area of the shoulders on the ground. And perhaps we can keep this imagery going throughout our practice this evening. As we release the shoulders, as we stabilise the shoulders, and as we soften the neck. We're going to take the arms out to the sides. If it's comfortable, you could have the elbows bent and the backs of the hands onto the ground by the head, making an E shape with their arms and the head. Otherwise, have them outstretched if that's not good for you. And then when we breathe in, we're just going to slide the arms up the floor so they start to stretch above the head on the ground. And then with the exhale, we're bringing them back into the cactus arms that we have in the goddess pose. Let's do that a few times then. So we're sliding up with the inhale. And sliding back with the exhale. Can we tune in to where we're feeling this movement coming from? So often we can use the upper part of the tops of the shoulders rather than using the trapezius, which is a little further down. Just tuning in there. So perhaps one more. As you come back this last time, release the arms down. Draw the knees in towards the chest, have a little rock there, back and forth or side to side. So let's warm up the rest of the body. Let's have a hand onto each kneecap, toes together. We'll make those knee circles, taking them away, then out, away from each other and back in towards each other. With separate circles, getting into the hips. So starting to free up this other girdle. There's a shoulder girdle, a pelvic girdle. And then returning the opposite direction with those circles. Now bringing the feet down to the ground, we'll take the, just nestle into the ground first of all, knees bent, feet flat onto the floor. And then let's bring the right ankle onto the left thigh. Hand onto that right thigh. Staying there if that's good for you. Or if you like, we can just lift that left foot off the ground. And if you can comfortably catch hold of the back of the thigh without bringing those shoulders off the ground, keeping them settled, then do that if you wish. You could extend the leg if you want to do that. See where you're at this evening and what's better for you. Steady breathing, perhaps that visualisation with the exhale. Let's bring the left foot to the ground if that's raised and the right foot to the ground. Just lift the tailbone slightly and then go into the other side. So ankle onto thigh. Stay there if that's better for you, or lifting the leg up if you wish to, extending if that feels right. Lovely. And then if your leg's extended, bring it to the ground, bring the other foot to the ground. And then draw those knees in towards the chest again. We're going to take an inhale and stretch the legs up towards the sky and take the fingertips, the arms and the fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, fold the knees, maybe lift the head. Doing that again, so toes and fingertips up to the sky and then curling up. Continue that way, or start to take the arms overhead if that's comfortable for your shoulders. Exhale, curling up. Another couple of times then. And then once we've finished those rounds, the feet are coming down to the ground. We're going to take the hands behind the head, interlinking the fingers and just placing the base of the skull into those hands. We're going to take an inhalation, and then with the exhale we're lifting the head, keeping the chin tucked in. So using your hands, keep the elbows wide, tucking the chin in as we lift the head. And then with the inhale, the head comes down to the ground again. Exhale, lifting that head. And inhaling down. Now this time when we lift, we're going to keep that position, but keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Feeling a stretch into the neck and down those corresponding muscles down the spine. And then we'll place that head gently down to the ground with a lovely long neck and take the arms out to the sides. Let's twist then. So breathing in here, breathing out, taking the knees over to the right, gaze to the left if that suits you. And then bring the nose, the centre if you turned your head. Use your inhale and tummy to lift the knees to centre. Then going to the other side. Always bringing that nose back before bringing the tummy in, lifting the knees. So do that twice more to each side. And whenever it is you've completed those rounds, there's no hurry, I'm not hurrying you. Draw those knees in towards the chest again. Okay, then when you're ready, we'll either rock and roll up to sitting or roll over onto one side and come up to sitting. Come to a comfortable place then. You can no, I think we need to be sitting. Sitting, please. Okay. So use a block or a cushion or a folded blanket if you need that support. All right, so just in a comfortable place, bring the hands in front and interlink the fingers. I'm going to take a breath in, keep your shoulders down. As you breathe out, turn your hands so they're facing away from you and push away. And as you breathe in, bring them back. So let's do that another couple of times. Push away. Lovely, and bring them back. And push away. Lovely. And bring them back. Good. Now take them overhead now. So take them overhead. Breath in. Breath out as you go over to your right. Breath in as you lift up to centre. Breath out as we go to the other side. Breath in centre. We'll do that once more to each side. Keeping those shoulders down. Lovely. And then we'll release down. Breath in, another side bend. Going to raise that right arm up. Take your left fingers down to the ground and over. Now, either looking straight ahead or if it's okay for your neck, we're going to turn and look up. And a steady breath as we hold that stretch. Lovely. Let's take a breath in, lift up, and then bring that arm down with the exhale. Inhale, lift the other arm. Go into the position. Choose what's better for your neck on this side, looking ahead or taking the gaze up. Lovely. Breath in, lift. Bring that arm down. Okay, we're going to bring the knees in front, feet together. And then let the knees go out to the side. So the soles of the feet are coming towards each other. Maybe quite close to you, maybe further away. If it's a bit strong on your ankles, you might like to place them onto a folded blanket or something. Let's take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going over to the right. So we're going to twist over to the right. And we're going to hold that twist. With an inhale, we're just lifting up. And with the exhale, maybe gazing over that right shoulder a little. And a stretch into the neck. No forcing, no going to any place of pain. And next inhale, we'll make our way to the front. And with the exhale, cross over to the other side. So again, you can look over that left shoulder if that's comfortable for your neck. And then we'll make our way to the front. Stretch the legs out. I'm going to slide the right foot in. And we're going to be taking that knee out to the side. So those of you that need a little padding, as what I do, for that knee to come down onto. Okay, so we're going to take a breath in, open up the chest. Breath out and we're folding forward. Remember, you can have that left leg bent a little if you like. Now let the hands either rest onto the ground or onto the leg. Keep the back as straight as you can, your neck in line with the spine. Don't be tempted to bring the shoulders forward and hold onto the foot. Don't want the shoulders doing that work. This isn't for the shoulders. This is just opening up the hip girdle, the pelvic girdle. And a nice forward fold, good stretch into the back. All right, next inhale, we'll pad our way up. With great respect and love, lift that leg and stretch it out. If you're using a landing pad, pop that on the other side. And then we'll draw that left foot in. Gently take the knee out to the side. Draw the right toes towards you, breathing in, opening up. Breath out, folding, calming down. Oh, no wonder I'm hot. I've got a million things wrapped around my neck. Steady breath. Okay, now we're going to gently lift up, coming up, and then lift that knee and stretch out. I forgot to ask if you'd all brought a belt or not. You did. Did you also bring a little towel or something that you can roll up? Yes. If not, then you've probably got something nearby, like a scarf or something you could use. Okay, so first of all, we'll do belt first. So you may or may not need a belt for these arms. It's very familiar to all of us, but it's nice to start off with one. So belt or whatever you've got in your right hand and drop it down the back, and then we can stretch up and then bend the elbow. Now sit up tall, drawing your tummy into your pelvic floor. Take that opposite arm out, take it around, opening up, and then behind, taking hold of the belt. So it's quite nice, even then if you know that you can join hands, just to start off here. Gives the whole body an inkling as to what's happening, and it also gives you a chance to sort out your posture. So there's two ways that people do this. It's like hunching over and it's arching, so we don't do either of those. We want tummy in nice and tall in the spine, tall in the neck. That's lovely, seeing you all self-adjusting, lovely. And then once we feel comfortable in the body, comfortable with the pose, if you feel that you would like to bring the fingers towards each other a little more or all together, then do. Now just watch the heads aren't dropping down, that's it. Good. Keep the faces soft and enjoy yourself. Lovely. Okay, now drop that bottom arm down Raise the top hand and then swap it over, bending the elbow, dropping it down, taking the right hand out and behind, and then just settle in. First of all, posture, that's it, good. We do need reminding, don't we? And then we can maybe walk the hands towards each other a little more. See how you fare on this side. Lovely, good. Okay, and drop the bottom hand down, stretch that up, and then we'll pop that to one side. We'll take our towel. I forgot to bring one down, so I've got my shawl. I'm just going to roll up part of it, not too much of it. So you make a Swiss roll that's about, I don't know, an inch or so. It's not thick particularly. And then we're going to place that into the armpit. So place it into your right armpit, so your right hand can come down. Okay, someone's just nipped off to get something, so we'll just wait a second. Do wet my whistle. There we go. Okay, so just tuck that underneath the armpit, and that is purely to anchor the shoulder in place. And then we bend the elbow, bring the hand up in front of you. Okay, shoulders down. It's such a small, all this fuss, honestly, this is all we're going to do. Is we're going to breathe in and take the hand out to the side, and then bring it back in front. So we're anchoring that shoulder, because if you haven't got the thing there, then you're likely to flap around a little bit, and then back. So this is good for your rotator cuff. I have problems with my rotator cuffs for some reason, and this is one of the things the physio gives me to do. Let's do one more. So you might think, gosh, this is a bit of simple. What on earth are we doing this for? Well, because we can. So drop that hand down, swap it over. It's good to find these movements, just isolate a certain group of muscles, then we can work on them. And then we'll bring the hand up. But then if you find that you've got a problem in the future with those muscles, then you can do this, can't you? So it might be different on this side to the other. Use your breath. And then leave that and bring the arm down and release. Pop this to one side then, we're done with that. Take socks off. If we've got, I would think that most people have got socks on this evening. Unless you've got the luxury of a wood burning stove or something near you. And we're going to come onto all fours. So just the usual things, making sure that you've got padding underneath the knees if you need that, and your hands are in the right place for you. And you come into tabletop position, so tummy's in and nice and engaged, and you soften the elbows. We'll start with 2 rounds of cat then to free the spine a little. So breathing in, tummy down, leading with the chest, shoulders back, looking up. Exhale as we draw in the tummy and arch the spine, and the chin gently drops down. Let's do a couple of rounds. So 2 all together. And then make our way to a flat back once again. From here, we're going to take the hips back just a little, not all the way back to a child's pose. We're going to come down, stretch the arms out ahead of us, but only the hands are on the mat, not the arms. And maybe bring the head down to the ground. And we're going to pause there, so you might find that as you settle into this stretch, you want to walk your hands a little further away. Feeling that shoulder stretch. Now we're going to gently lift up. Bring the forearms onto the ground. Take the toes out behind us so that we come into a forearm plank in a very sneaky manner. So we'll just hold this for a moment, not too long. And then with your next exhale, bring the hips down to the ground. Now, relax the feet, come onto your elbows and place your chin into your cupped hands. So I call this teenage pose, don't I? Into your cupped hands. And then take your elbows as wide as your shoulders. And just allow your chin to rest heavily into the hands. Relax the shoulders back and down, because they might have tensed having done that plank. Plank is very stabilising and strengthening though. This is quite a somatic pose, and we're going to go from here to another somatic pose. So we'll release the hands and bring them underneath the shoulders. Take a breath in, lift back up onto all fours. So we're back into tabletop. Now we're going to do a tortoise sort of a movement. It's very hard to describe. Let's see if you get the hang of it. So we extend the head out like a tortoise would. Extend that neck and then draw it back without hunching your shoulders. So your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders don't move. Extending the neck and then shrinking it back. Do that a few times. Just notice where you feel that movement in your back. We'll do one more. And then bring the neck to a neutral position again. Maybe give it a little waggle if it needs that. Take a breath in. With your breath out, take the right hand underneath that left armpit, bringing the shoulder down to the ground if that's comfortable. Now we're just going to stay here. We're not going to lift the arm or anything. We're just going to stay here and breathe. Good. And then use a breath in to lift back to centre. And then go to the other side. So just slide that left hand underneath the right. Bring the shoulder to the ground if that's comfortable, and then we're just resting. Good. Let's take a breath in. Lift back to the centre. Come on to your forearms once again. So forearms parallel to each other, tuck the toes under. With a breath in, we're going to lift the hips, keeping the shoulders back and down. Lift the hips, so we're into dolphin pose. Onto your forearms, strengthening and stabilising. And bring the knees down. Come onto your hands. Back onto all fours. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up into down dog. So move your feet so that you're comfortable, draw in your belly, take the hips backwards a bit, and then bring your awareness, your focus to your shoulders. So you draw your shoulders back. Quite often people have them hunched, so let's draw them back. Your head, ideally with your ears next to the arms. Steady breath here. We won't hold for too long, but it's lovely and strengthenize Strengthenizing. We have a new word tonight. Strengthenizing. Strengthening and stabilizing. Strengthenizing. Now let's walk the feet up towards the hands. Come to a forward fold. And then we'll turn the forward fold to a dangle. We'll take hold of opposite elbows and release the head. Let the head be really floppy. And the knees as soft as you like. You might like a little waggle side to side. And then from here we're going to roll up to standing. So breathing in. Rolling, 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 rolling up. Up to standing. Hurrah! We've made it. Good. I'm just going to pop my jumper off. Okay. So when I talk about the traps, you see how my camera's changed. It's just like altered itself completely, hasn't it? We want to really focus on this area. So quite often when we reach up, when we go to do anything, we'll do it all from the neck and from the tops of the shoulders. Whereas if we just concentrate, we can start to utilise these stronger muscles here and take the tension out of here. Yeah, you can have a little touch, see if you can feel where they are. We'll find them in a moment. Let's first of all come to Tadasana. So just placing those feet on the ground, glancing down to make sure they're parallel, lifting the toes, floating them down, lifting up through the arches of the feet, the knees, echoing that into the pelvic floor, tucking your tailbone under navel in. Let's roll those shoulders a couple of times. And then let the hands just be relaxed down by the sides. The arms long, the hands soft. Reach up through the spine, through the neck. Then take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to take the gaze over to the right. Breath into the centre. Don't lose sight of your Tadasana. Breath out to the other side. Breath into the centre. Now breath out, let's tuck the chin down. Breath into the centre. Then breath out as we lift the gaze up. And back to centre. Do that again, so breath in here. Breath out over to the right. Breath into the centre. Breath out to the other side. Breath into the centre. Breath out and drop the chin down. And breath in, we're going to lift up. And then back to the centre again. Lovely. Let's just bring those fingertips onto the shoulders. Familiar one. Breathing in, opening up, drawing the shoulder blades together. And then breath out as we soften the knees and draw the shoulder blades towards each other. And again. Then let's open up and roll them backwards and down. We're going to take a breath in and lift the shoulders up by the ears. And with the breath out, we're going to huff it out. Huh. All right, yeah, a couple of times. Huh. There we go. Huh. Grand. All right, so back to instrument of torture. Let's grab our belts again. So it's going to take hold of the belt and have it fairly wide. find your Tadasana position and just soften those knees slightly. So your tailbone's under, navel's in. As we breathe in, we're going to raise that belt up and then bring it down. Now, remember where I said just to try to focus, try to take that action, that movement from your trapezius, gosh, making words up left, right and centre. And we can start to take that back a little, the belt, and then down with your out breath. Keep those knees soft. So keep going, maybe going a little bit further each time, but just stopping when you feel that's right for you. I won't be going all the way because I've got rotator cuff issues at the moment, so I really don't want to. I think Christmas tension I'm blaming it on. A bit further and then down. Some of you might be able to go all the way around, but don't force it. Lovely. Some of you have got great movement. One more then. Lovely. Good. And then down and release the beast. Pop it on the ground. Let's give those shoulders and arms a good rub. It's always a good excuse for a rub. Okay, so next one. I'm going to take the hands behind the back and interlink the fingers. And take the feet wide, so they're parallel but they're wide. Now let's take a breath in, nice and tall. As we breathe out, we're going to fold forward. So you can come to the halfway point if that's better for you, not to take your head below the heart, or you can come further down. We're raising the arms just as high as feels okay for you to go. Bending the knees, with a breath in, we're going to gently lift up and the hands come back onto the body. So steady as we go, really slowly. So exhaling, we're folding forward. Raise those arms just as much as feels okay for you. And then inhaling as we come up. Lovely. So we're going to go down this time and we're going to hold it. This time we're holding. So releasing tension, deltoids in that trapezium. Steady breath. And our next inhale, we're going to come up. So soften the knees. Gently make your way up. As you come up, release the hands. We'll take a stretch up and down. Now take your right toes out. Bring your hands to the heart centre. Bring the left toes around. Bending the knee into this version of Warrior One, but with your hands at the heart centre. Check your knee, everything that's normal applies. Feel into the ground underneath. Strong legs, engaged body, so your pelvic floor, your navel all engaged. Now with next inhale, think about those that trapezius again. We're going to open up the arms. So keep them bent, have those hands working, so the arms are working. With the exhale, we're bringing them back together again. We'll do that twice more. Opening the heart centre, keeping the shoulders down, trying to target the lower muscles. And then bringing them back together. Now this time let's open the arms wide and come back to the centre. Bring the hands down behind you. Interlink your fingers the way that doesn't feel right, the uncomfortable way. Breathing in, breathing out, we're folding down. Remember, you can come to the halfway point or all the way down, that's entirely up to you. Raising your arms as high as you can, bending the knees with the inhale and slowly making your way up. Be mindful of your blood pressure. Good, let's do that again. I'm coming up, sorry I forgot to say, you're not telepathic yet. So then this next time we're going to hold, let's come down. And let's hold that just for a few breaths. You may find you get more movement in those shoulders as you're holding. And then next inhale, we're going to come up. So softening the knees, breathing in, releasing the hands, lifting up. Let's stretch up. Take the left toes out. Bring the hands to the heart center, coming into this warrior one version on this side. So feel into the feet, check the knee, strong legs, banders, shoulders down. Steady gaze. Breath in as we open up with purpose, so those arms are working, they're not flopping open. Breathing out as you bring them back to the heart center. So 2 more times. Now this time we're going to open up, bring our feet back to parallel. Lovely, and then we're just going to fold forward and release those arms down this time. We'll bring them down either to the thighs or all the way down. Let's take an inhale and raise that right hand so it can come to the waist or extend up. Looking around and holding that twist. Next exhale, we'll bring that hand down and swap over, going to the other side. Lovely. Bring that arm down, soften the knees, breathe in, lift up, stretch up, and then bring the arms down as you heel toe in. We'll be coming back down to a down dog, so if you need to change your position on your mat, then do. So we're going to breathe in and raise up. Breathe out, forward fold, softening those knees as you come down as much as you need so that you can get the hands onto the ground, and then step the feet back into down dog again. So remember the shoulders, remember the positioning, the steady breath. Now some of you may be able to come from there straight down onto your forearms. Some of you might need to bring your knees to the ground and then lift back up again. So see what works for you as you come back to a dolphin. Just notice the difference in the shoulders there. And then we'll all bring the knees to the ground and come back onto the hands. It's relentless tonight, isn't it? So, we're into a tabletop. We're going to take a breath in, breath out, threading the needle once again. So right goes underneath the left, shoulders down to the ground if you can, and then that left hand can come to the waist or extend up. So if you have your arm extended, we're going to take a breath in there, and then a breath out to bring it over by the ear. If you've got your hand on your waist, you may be able to extend over by the ear. Breath in as we lift it back up again. Breath out as we bring it down over by the ear. So one more time, lifting. And then down. Slide the hand back to the starting position. And then breathe in and lift back to centre. And have a little squiggle and a wiggle as you bring those 2 girdles, pelvic and shoulder, back into alignment. And then we'll go to the other side. So taking a breath in, breath out as we move into the posture with the left going underneath the right, shoulder to the ground if you can manage that. Hand can come to the waist or extend up. Different on this side perhaps. Breath in here, breath out, and the arms going over by the ear. Breath in as it raises up. So 2 more times. And then we can bring it over, slide it back, bring ourselves back onto all fours. Okay, so we're going to slide down to a sphinx. Let's come onto forearms and then bring the hips down to the ground. So position ourselves there, relaxing the hips, the legs, shoulders back, remember that lovely long tortoise neck, so finding your tortoise neck. Now we're going to be lowering ourselves down to the ground with the arms down by the sides. So bring the arms down by the sides, lower your head down, you can bring the forehead to the ground or onto a block if that's more comfortable. And then bring the hands onto the lower back, either taking hold of the fingers or interlinking the fingers, whichever is better for you, more accessible. Shoulders back and down, please. Neck nice and long. As we breathe in, we're going to raise the head, keeping the neck long and the shoulders, and maybe raising the arms as well. And then as we breathe out, we release the arms down and release the body down to the ground. So we'll do that 2 more times. Do whatever version is most accessible to you. When you come down for the 3rd time, release the arms, take the hands underneath the forehead. Lengthen your neck, soften your hips, soften those heels out to the sides. Good, and then bring the hands underneath the shoulders as you lift up. Lift your hips up, come back to tabletop, and then scoot yourselves around so that you come down to the mat. Lying on your backs, bare feet still, we're going to go into a form of a bridge. And your head directly onto the mat. So as you come down, knees bent, feet hip width apart, feet underneath the knees or just slightly further away, settling the lower back into the mat, shoulders lovely and wide, and just making sure the neck is super long. Find your breath. We're going to be lifting into a bridge and holding the bridge. So remember how we start with the feet. Engaging the feet, engage the legs, engage the pelvic floor, engage the tummy. And then using the in-breath to peel the hips off the ground and the back. And initially coming to that line between the knees and the shoulders. Now can we bring the shoulders in towards each other a little and bring the hands underneath. So they might be just be on the mat, or you may be able to interlink the fingers. And as we do that, we can raise the hips a little bit more, keeping the neck long. At this point, you don't turn your head to the side. You keep your gaze straight up. Maybe bring the shoulders towards each other a little bit more. And And then we'll release the arms, widen those shoulders, feel them spreading like that soft candle wax as you slowly lower the back to the ground, hips to the ground, and then gather the knees in, maybe curling up like a hedgehog. Maybe not if you've had enough of lifting the head up. Okay, and then we're going to come up to sitting again. So rock and roll up or roll over onto one side. And if you want to pop any socks or extra layers on, do, just for our last few poses. We've got quite hot, but let's not cool down. Let's keep these muscles warm. Okay, so we're going to come to sitting with the legs outstretched. So we're using a block if you want to do that, or whatever, to sit on. Okay. Alright, so let's do Ardha Matsyendrasana, so really familiar twist. Right leg sliding the foot in, gap between the foot and the thigh, or taking the foot to the other side, the outside. Some of you might like to wrap this left leg around if you're familiar with that. I can do that comfortably. Yeah. And then opposite hand to knee, or placing that knee into the crook of the elbow, drawing the toes towards you if you have a straight leg. Let's take the right hand out and then follow it around to 90 degrees. Release the hand down behind us, that helps to keep us upright. Inhaling, lifting up, and with the exhale, twist around as far as you can go comfortably, and then maybe just take the gaze behind as well now. No strain into that neck though, let's keep it gentle. So a few breaths there. And then we'll use an inhale, gently come to centre. And stretch the legs out. Give them a waggle if they like it. And then go to the other side. So take your choice on this side, where you want that foot. Wrapping around, those that like to wrap around. I know you can do comfortably. Opposite hand to knee, or popping it into the crook of the elbow. Taking the left hand out. If your leg's straight, remember those toes towards you. 90 degrees to begin with. So you can bring that hand behind and settle in. Shoulders down. Breath in, lifting, breath out as we gently twist around. Maybe taking the gaze behind a little. Steady breath. And then we'll gently make our way back to the front. Stretch the legs out. Have them a little soft if you like, and then just lift up so that you're onto your sit bones. Going into a forward fold. So let's breathe in and open up. Breathe out as we fold forward. Until I haven't spoken for a few weeks, can't you really? Well, I did, but not for the last week or so. Nice straight spine, neck in line with the spine. Just let the hands rest onto the ground or onto the legs. Don't haul your shoulders forward by taking hold of the knee. If you take hold of the feet without bringing your shoulders forward, then by all means do, but quite often it means that you're going to be hauling your shoulders forward. Just steady there. Softening with each exhalation. Remember that candle wax or warm oil or nice warm waterfall. Lovely. Now with an inhale, we're going to pad our way up. Oh, good. So let's come for relaxation then. Fair enough, everyone says. Okie dokie. So pop all your warm things on. You could have your legs raised up onto furniture if you wish, making sure that those lower legs are supported. If you've got a tickle or you're a bit stuffy, then you might like to roll over onto one side and practice from being on the side. Apart from that, make yourselves comfortable whatever way is right for you. Legs outstretched or knees bent or bolsters etc. underneath the knees. Specs on or off. Arms and hands in the most comfortable place for you now. And we have just lifting the chin slightly so you have a lovely long neck. Eyes softly closed. Smoothing the forehead, making space between the back teeth. Tongue resting lightly behind the top teeth. Nice long neck, open throat. Letting those shoulders be wide against the ground, relaxing and releasing the arms, the hands. Releasing the belly, the back of the waist, softening into the hips. Thighs, lower legs, feet, whole body. Softening that whole body down. And the breath gently now flowing in and out, finding the rhythm of your breath. Now take your awareness to your feet and toes. Breathing in, and then as you breathe out, just let the feet and the toes relax and let go, taking on the qualities of that soft candle wax perhaps, of pillows, of marshmallows, softness. Awareness to ankles, lower legs and knees, breathing in, breathing out, releasing and softening, letting go. Take the awareness into your thighs, into your hips, your pelvis. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, just letting that whole the lower body soften. Imagine wax sliding down a candle. Warm, almost fluid. Take your awareness to your hands and your fingers and thumbs. Breathing in, as you breathe out, bring that softness, that warmth to your hands, fingers and thumbs, backs of hands, palms of hands. Wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms. Breathing in, breathing out and letting go, releasing. Warm and molten. Take your awareness to your shoulders, collarbones, shoulder blades, tops of the shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out, your shoulders releasing, relaxing, letting go, softening, warm. Breathing into your neck. As you breathe out, spaciousness, warmth, softness, release. Under your face, breathing into your face, breathing out, face softens, scalp even, the forehead, the temples, the eyes, the ears, nose, cheekbones, the jaw, throat. Then taking the awareness to the back, the spine and all of the muscles of the back. As you breathe in, running from the base of your spine up through the whole of your back, through the neck, up to the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, releasing down, all the way back down. I'm doing that a few times. Allowing anything that's not useful to be carried away. And then just coming to your breath, letting the breath gently roll in its rhythm. The body warm and soft. Relaxed and held. It was when I stopped searching for home within others and lifted the foundations of home within myself. I found that there were no roots more intimate than those between a mind and body that had decided to be whole. So gently being aware of where your body is held by the ground, sensation of breath in the body, and taking a deeper breath in and then sigh the breath away. Let it go. And a couple more times, a deeper breath in And letting it go. And then bringing a little movement to tips of toes, tips of fingers. Maybe gently rolling the head from one side to the other a couple of times. That feels like a good thing to do. Bringing movement in to suit you now. Stretching in a way that feels right, if that does indeed feel right. And you may like to roll over onto one side for a few moments perhaps. When you feel ready, coming to an upright position. Keep those eyes softly closed if you wish. Practicing palming if that suits you this evening. Getting those hands as warm as we can, hopefully lovely and warm, and then cupping them over the closed eyes when you feel ready. Just letting the light very gently filter in. Bring the hands down to the heart centre. Om Shanti.